Hello everybody, how you doing today? This is Saucony Prince of SauconyPrince.com, where we make motivation personal by introducing you to yourself. And I want to welcome you to the H.E.A.L podcast. H.E.A.L is an acronym for Help, Elevate, and Learn, and it's actually based on my book by the same title. The subtitle is It's a Guide to Healing Your Inner Child. And I am super excited today because I actually am going to do a recap of some of the stuff that I've done to get me to this point. Now, I know that I had a guest scheduled for today, but unfortunately something came up and she wasn't able to make it. So we're going to reschedule her hopefully for next Friday. So in the meantime, I want to share with you just how important it is for us to take the time to check on ourselves. We'll check on everybody else. We'll make sure everybody else is okay and everybody else is doing fine. But when was the last time you took the time to look in the mirror, look in your own eyes and say, are you okay? And let me be honest with yourself, because see, the worst thing we can do is we can lie to ourselves and we can tell ourselves that we're doing great, we're doing fine, and in reality, we're not. I tell people all the time, we can be our own best friend, but we can also be our own worst enemy. And listen, before I go any further in the show, I want to make sure that I highlight our sponsor, none other than BetterHelp. This episode is sponsored by BetterHelp. BetterHelp connects you with a licensed therapist who is trained to listen and give you helpful, unbiased advice. First, you go to their site. You can use my link, betterhelp.com/SauconyPrinceHeal. You answer a few questions, and BetterHelp will match you to a professional who's had years of experience helping people with struggles just like yours. You can do it all from your phone or your computer, via a phone call, a video chat, or messaging. However you feel most comfortable, it is the easiest possible way to start talking to a therapist. You'll be matched to a therapist usually within 48 hours, so you can get started fast. Let BetterHelp connect you to a therapist who can support you, all from the comfort of your own home. Visit betterhelp.com/SauconyPrinceHeal or choose Saucony Prince Heal during your sign up and enjoy a special discount on your first month. And again, we want to thank BetterHelp for being a sponsor of this episode. And if you need somebody to talk to, if you need somebody to discreetly get the help that you need, I would definitely suggest that you look into BetterHelp and use my link. And I'm telling you, you'll get a discount on your first month. So how did we get here? How did I get from where I started to where I am now? Well, for those of you who don't know, I started off doing personal development. And that led into leadership development, which then led into inner child healing. And some people are like, well, I don't see the connection. I don't see how that goes together. Well, in fact, when I first started off, again, I wanted to make sure that I help people to understand who they were, to look at themselves and to see what value they had. And like I've said time and time again, to see their value and see what value their value brings. And so one of the things I started to do is I started to actually do weekly videos. And one of them, I know it helped to drive home the point of that not everyone is going to like you. Not everyone is going to sing your praises, but it's not really about what they think about you. It's what do you think about yourself? And so to me, that's why personal development is so important. That you make sure that you were your own best friend instead of being your own worst enemy. So several years ago, I did this video, and well, I'm gonna let you check it out. Here it is. Hello, everybody. How you doing today? This is Saucony Prince of SauconyPrince.com, where we introduce you to yourself. What? Some people don't like you. Really? I mean, it's their loss. And you know, some people, they aren't gonna like you. And once again, that's their loss. You know, Robin Shamar said that you'll never change the world by worrying about whether or not people like you. So don't let what people say or think about you stop you from reaching your goals. There are always going to be those who sit on the sideline and criticize those who are out there doing it. And if you ever notice the ones who are actually making things happen, they don't have time to criticize other people because they're too busy working. I remember this supervisor asked this one guy, he said, are you working hard? The guy looked up and said, isn't everybody? Because he was working so hard that he didn't have time to look around and see what other people were doing. And is that you? Are you so focused on your goals and your dreams that you aren't really worried about what everybody else is doing? But you are focused on making your goals a reality. That's what we all need to do. So you can't sit around worrying about what other people are saying about you, what other people are thinking about you. And to be honest, if they really knew you, they could help but like you. They just haven't taken the time to get to know you. So don't worry about them. Don't worry about what other people think of you. But be so focused on your goals and your dreams that you prove them wrong. That you silence them with your success. That you find a way to make them regret not getting to know who you are. Be so focused on your dreams and on your goals to where they can't help but applaud you. Because you have what they want. And that's the determination to keep going. And look, don't worry about your critics, because they don't count. Don't worry about those who said that you couldn't do it, because they don't count. Don't worry about those who try to stop you. Find a way around them and make them wish they never got in your way. And sometimes that means you have to run them over. In a good way. I'm not talking about with your car or anything, but seriously, you have to be so determined that you're not going to let anybody stop you from reaching your goals and your dreams. And look, this is Saucony Prince of SauconyPrince.com, just reminding you that some people aren't going to like you. But you know what? That's their loss. Because you know what you have, you know what you offer, you know what you bring to the table. And I just want to help you understand that it's so important to remember that not everybody's going to like you. Look, I asked you to like and share this video. Thank you. So as you can see, that was me from several years ago. I actually had less gray in my beard during that time. But that message just still rings true today, because there are so many people that are overly concerned with what other people think about them. Now, I'm not saying that we're not to care about our reputation at all, but we're not to be overly concerned with how people view us, because we know who we are. And oftentimes people are trying to project on us their own fears, their own insecurities. And that's why they say, well, you can't do this. I don't see how you can get that done. Well, okay, that's because you can't see it. Don't mean that I can't. You see, that's why personal development is so critically important, because if you're always waiting for somebody else to, as a good friend of mine say, co-sign your existence, you will always be waiting for them to give you that stamp of approval. But you have to do it yourself. You have to co-sign your own existence and actually appreciate the person that God has made you to be. And that's one of the reasons why I try to encourage people to just take a step back and look at the gift that you have, the person that you are, the talent, the skills and abilities that God has given you. And He gave them to you for a reason. And then take those and use those for His glory before you're good. I'm going to say that again, because a lot of people really don't understand. The gift that God has given us is for His glory. He gets the glory from it, but it's for our good. And what I mean by that is that means that we need to be compensated for the things that God has given us to do and give it to work. A lot of people want everything for free. But there are some things that cost. It's an investment in them, but they're paying you. So don't undersell yourself and don't undercut yourself, because you are valuable. You have something valuable to offer the world. But you know, when you try to do that, when you set out to do that, you're definitely going to run into people who are haters. They are going to hate on you, and they are going to try to stop you. That reminds me, several years ago, I did a video which, I tell you even now, even thinking about it, it makes me laugh. Even watching it makes me laugh. Because there are times you just have to get in your hater's face. And you have to laugh. You have to let them know, listen, you're not going to stop me just because you thought I was going to quit. No, you picked the wrong one. I think all of us, we need to have this kind of attitude, that we are to be able to laugh at our haters. Listen, I want to share this video with you, and I'm telling you, I must warn you, don't be surprised if you start laughing. I was talking to this guy, and he said, I thought you quit. even got a seat. He bought a ticket. He thought he was going to see me quit. He told me, he said, with all the stuff you've gone through, I just knew. I knew you were going to give up. I knew you were going to quit. But he must have never heard what Walt Disney said. Walt Disney said the difference between losing and winning is the fact that you don't quit. But this guy, he thought I was going to quit. He didn't realize I'm not doing something that I was trained to do. I'm doing something that I was ordained to do. And so he said he was going to watch me. He was going to watch me quit. He even got popcorn. I said, stop. You're going to make me pee. Stop. Sometimes you gotta laugh. You gotta laugh at your haters. Sometimes you just gotta get in their face. Especially when they think that you're gonna give up because it got hard. When they think that you're gonna stop because things didn't go your way. Sometimes you just gotta get in their face. You gotta let them know, I'm not quitting. I'm not quitting. I don't care how much you want me to. I don't care how many tickets you buy. I don't care how many seats you get. I'm not quitting because I'm doing what I was put here for. I'm doing what I was ordained to do. Hey, look, this is Saucony Prince of SauconyPrince.com. We introduce you to yourself. And I'm telling you, sometimes you just gotta laugh at your haters. Look how you would like and share this video. I'm telling you, even me watching that, every time I watch it, it makes me laugh because it should be true. We should care so much about ourselves and know enough about ourselves to know our purpose and understand why we're doing what we're doing, to the point to where someone who would come to us and think that we could quit, we could stop, is laughable. I mean, it's laughable. When you know what you've been called to do, when you've laid hold to what you understand and know as your destiny, then there's nothing going to stop you. And like in fact, the song that I know I'm going to come out to most of the time when I speak is the Fat Joe, Nothing Can Stop Me, I'm All the Way Up. Because I know for a fact, again, once you know who you are, nothing can stop you. But until you know who you are, anything can. And so my goal is to really help people to understand who they are. So listen, this episode, I wanted to tell you and talk to you about how I got here, how I got to do what I'm doing, even on this podcast. And I started by doing personal development and leadership development. So listen, I'm going to share this reel that was created by this group in Africa, an amazing reel. And honestly, when I first saw this, I said to myself, you know what? I would hire that guy. Listen, check out my scissor reel. Well, my name is Saucony Prince of SauconyPrince.com, where we make motivation personal by introducing you to yourself. I'm a motivational speaker, a trainer, and a coach. I'm also an author. I help people in the area of personal development and leadership development because I believe that you can't lead others until you learn how to lead yourself. But once you learn how to lead yourself, the next logical step is that you lead other people.
Saucony Prince is the best keynote I've ever seen.
He really encouraged me so much.
He has this ability of seeing in people what they don't see in themselves.
He was so confident. When he was coming to the stage, you could see like, wow, this is a lion.
Any actor that's going for a role, they do a case study. If I'm going to be a fry cook, I go to a restaurant and watch people that are fry cooks. If I'm going to be a mob boss, I go and, well, maybe not go with a mob, but you take some notes as to what they do. Our children are watching us. What can they reference when they step into our shoes?
I do what I do because I believe that people have truly yet to understand their purpose. Once you know who you are, nothing can stop you. But until you know who you are, anything can. So my goal is to really help people to understand their purpose and their calling. And oftentimes they have the answers themselves, but they're not asking the right questions. So I help people to get to that place to where they look at themselves, they step back and they see how they've been a help to those around them and what really drives them. And from that, they really understand the value of it. They learn to value their value and see what value their value brings. Because a lot of people, they have yet to do that.
Until you know who you are, anything can stop you. But once you know who you are, nothing can stop you. I want you to understand that you are blessed. That you are blessed to be a blessing. That there is somebody looking up to you. They're looking at you. Don't ever forget that. Because if you ever do, you're going to leave them without a mind.
I've learned so much and I've experienced a lot of interactions with people.
The practical approach, like you can't just sit down there, you have to walk up to an opportunity. Sometimes you have to grab the opportunity. Sometimes you have to fight for the opportunity. There's so much life lessons.
I think from today onwards, I'll stretch out and reach to higher levels.
Again, amazing job by the group in Africa, and I am so appreciative to them, and also my coach, Dr. Ruben West, for the connection and for all that he does. And hey, it's amazing. It's been 10 years. 10 years since I started on this journey. 10 years since I started motivational speaking. And one thing I hate, I was telling somebody this the other day, I really hated the fact that I deleted some of my earlier videos. I mean, like when I first started, before I got a coach, before I got any kind of training or anything like that, they were horrible. I mean, they were horrible. But like I told somebody the other day, you don't have to be, and well, Zig Ziglar said this, you don't have to be great to start, but you have to start to be great. And anything that you do for the first time, you're not going to be the best at it. In fact, it's probably going to be the worst that you are at it. But if you keep at it, you're going to get better. And that's one of the reasons why a lot of people, they don't achieve that level of mastery because they stop. But if you're not doing something that you were called to do, something that you were ordained to do, something that's a part of who you are, there's a real good chance that you're not going to be your best at it. But if you're doing something that you're passionate about, something that you would get up day in and day out, something that you would do even when you're not getting paid, you can't help but get better. There's no way you can start doing something and do it consistently and not get better at it. And so I just want to make sure that all of us understand that we have something to offer. So I started off talking about how we got it. How did I get here to this book, to write and heal? Well, I started off doing personal development. And personal development, again, to me, is at the core of everything I do, even from my leadership development standpoint. Because I went from personal development to leadership development. Because I tell people, you can't lead others till you learn how to lead yourself. Once you learn how to lead yourself, the next logical step is to lead other people. So I did personal development and leadership development. But you know what? While I was doing that, I started to deal with the mindset of success and how important it is for us to actually put in the work and actually understand where we're going. So I did this video that I'm about to show you. It was a catalyst for, and it's a stepping stone, but it's going to get us to where we are today. But this is a video I did entitled, What Are You Wearing and Where Are You Going? Hello everybody, how you doing today? My name is Sakoni Prince of SakoniPrince.com, where we introduce you to yourself. And I have two questions for you today. Number one, what are you wearing? And number two,
where are you going? I'll say that again. The first question is, what are you wearing? And the second question is, where are you going? Hey, look, I saw this guy the other day. He had on some bowling shoes, and he also had on some khaki pants and a polo shirt. But he was also wearing a glove with the fingers cut out. So I thought to myself, that guy's probably going bowling. So this other young lady, she had on a bikini top, bikini bottom with some shorts over top and some flip-flops. She was also wearing shades. Thought to myself, she's probably going either to the pool or to the beach. So this other young man, he had on some steel-toe boots, some work pants, a work shirt, and a hat. Thought to myself, he's probably going to work. So what are you wearing? And where are you going? You know, I tell my kids all the time, I'm not raising kids. I'm raising adults. They look at me like, but we're not adults. I said, okay, do you wait till you get to school to put your school clothes on? You say, no. I said, do you wait till you get to church to put your church clothes on? They say, no, sir. I said, do you wait until you get in a pool to put your swimsuit on? They say, no, sir. I say, that's right, because you always get ready somewhere else. You always get dressed somewhere else. I said, well, you don't wait till you become an adult to learn how to be one. You know, now is the time, and this is the place where you learn the skills you're going to need to be an adult. Well, the same thing is true even with our success. You don't wait until you become successful to learn how to be that. You actually become a success before you are successful. I'm going to say that again because that was powerful. You learn how to become a success before you become successful. It's your mindset. It's how you think. It's how you picture life. It's what you deal with that puts you on the track and on the road to success. So what are you wearing? What attitude do you have that's going to actually get you to that place, to your goals of being successful? What are you wearing and where are you going? Because if you're wearing a bad attitude, you're probably not going to get where you think you should get or where you think you want to get. But if you have the mindset of success, if you start thinking about success even now, you start operating in success, by the grace of God, you'll be able to make it. So my question to you is, what are you wearing and where are you going? Hey, look, this is Saucony Prince of SauconyPrince.com introducing you to yourself, and I ask you to please like and share this video. Thank you.
So as you can tell, I have been doing this for a while, and if you really want to see, I'm all about social proof. You can just go back on my YouTube channel. You can see all of these videos. I have a ton of content, but that content came from consistency. But that consistency came out of a commitment to being who I am and who I know I've been called to be. And so, see, that's what I want to help other people understand. I want to help them know that and actually get that down in their heart, because if they do, all I have to do is step back. I have to grab some popcorn and I can watch them not quit, but I can watch them succeed. So that's why I say I'm Saucony Prince of SauconyPrince.com, where we make motivation personal. We're introducing you to yourself. And I added that where we make motivation personal because somebody asked me, say, okay, you say you're Saucony Prince of SauconyPrince.com and you introduced me to myself. How do you do that? That was a good question. And I had to amend my slogan. I had to amend my tagline because I had to actually put into words how we do that. We make motivation personal. When you know who you are, again, nothing can stop you. But until you know who you are, anything can. And you know, that last video I shared, it was a catalyst for me being able to speak at a focused women's conference. I gave them a title because I had several things that I speak on. And I told them, the title was, what are you wearing? Where are you going? Well, in fact, because it was a women's conference, they were like, we don't really want to get into a whole lot of superficial stuff. So they said, okay, can you just change the title? Keep the content, but change the title to Wearing the Right Mindset. And I was like, I can do that because it's the same thing, having the right mindset. But it was at that event a couple of years ago, I did this exercise at the end, which was really the catalyst, the starting point for me writing this book, H.E.A.L, and for me actually dealing with our inner child. And so I'm going to share this quick video and then we're going to wrap it up. But here's a video that sparked this whole book and podcast.
Just want to check and make sure. Okay, all right. So, in fact, before we get to this, there's something that I want all of us to do. First of all, secure your valuables. I mean, meaning that you, in fact, know where your purse and your phone is. Because what I want you to do is I want you to take your hand, put it over your heart, and I want you to close your eyes. And I want you to think about yourself as a little child. I want you to think about that little girl that you still are carrying inside of you. I want you to think about how proud she is of you right now. In spite of everything that you've gone through, everything that you face, she's proud of you because you survived everything that you've gone through. But I also want you to continue to make her proud by pointing to other people. Now, while you have your eyes still closed, I want you to think about the person that you can pour into. And they may be your same age. They may not necessarily be younger than you. Some of them may even be older than you. But there's somebody you can impact, somebody you can affect, somebody you can actually make a difference in their life. And before this week is over, I want you to reach out to them. I don't care whether it's for a phone call, whether it's a letter, a text, a DM, whatever you have to do, pour into them. But first you have to pour into yourself. All right, you can open your eyes now.
And that exercise, I can't tell you how many of those ladies in that room came up to me afterwards, and they just, some of them with tears in their eyes, they thanked me for that because they thought that, okay, that little girl, she's gone. She's not even there. But when I raised their consciousness, when I raised their awareness of it, it touched them. And it touched me. Because I realized that all of us, not only the women, but men, we have little boys inside of us. I saw this, these amazing images where it had a grown person in front of a mirror and they were crying, but their reflection was a little child. And I was like, that's exactly how I know a lot of people are. Their inner child is hurting and they need to be checked on and they need to be looked into and looked after. In fact, we need to acknowledge and recognize them. We need to deal with the hurt and pain so we can take them with us and have this journey, this adventure called life. But if you never check on, if you always try to suppress them, believe me, they will show up in the worst possible ways. A lot of current day behavior was seeded in our childhood. I was talking to this soon to be guest a couple of days ago, and she pointed out the same thing. She said that most of the time with the people that she deal with in her practice, and she's a psychologist, she said it stems in their childhood. The problems that they're dealing with comes from their childhood. So that's why, to me, I just want to raise the awareness. And like I've said time and time again about this podcast, we're not here at the end the conversation. We want to start it. We want to make sure that people are at least examining themselves to the point to where, do I need to get help? Is there something that happened to me that I'm not talking about that's coming up again, that's causing me problems? Is there something that I need to address? And then there may be people in your life that you care about, that you see things that really, and you see patterns that aren't serving them. Like, how do you even start the conversation? How do you even have those conversations? That's one of the reasons why I wanted to have this podcast. Because, I mean, yes, in fact, the book is amazing. I've gotten so much feedback on the book. But a lot of people, they don't want to take the time to read. But I want to make sure that, listen, that this is brought front and center. That no one forgets that, hey, you may be dealing with an adult, but inside them is a little child. You need to know, who am I talking to? Am I talking to the adult version of you? Or am I talking to the little child version of you? Am I talking to the rational side of you? Or am I talking to the emotional side of you? And I'm not saying as an adult we're not to have emotions. That's not what I'm saying. But I'm saying that when our emotions, and I said this even before I wrote the book, never let your emotions drive because they're not covered on your insurance. And that's just a picture of that little child taking the steering wheel of our life and causing so much damage, running over mailboxes and into trash cans and hitting other cars because we let the child in us drive, who was hurt, who was damaged, who was wounded, and we didn't get the help that we need. So that's one of the reasons why I want to make sure that I do my part in raising our awareness of the need for doing inner child work, inner child healing, dealing with our inner child wounds and our inner child trauma. Because if you find somebody who's truly living their best life, they've done some amount of work. I'm not saying that we're perfect. I'm not saying we got it all right, but they've started that journey, and they've gotten freed. They've gotten healed enough. I shared this a couple of years ago at an event in Phoenix, where I said, "Are you healed enough to celebrate somebody else and help them glow?" It takes a certain level of healing to do that, to not be so concerned about ourselves. And again, I said healed enough. Not that you're completely and totally healed, but are you healed enough to put yourself on pause for a second and celebrate somebody else? Or go see about somebody else, or be concerned about somebody else. But some of us, we're so busy nursing our own wounds that no one else matters. That we can't see anybody else for our own pain. So that's one of the reasons why I want all of us, everybody who's listening to my voice, who's watching this, I want all of us to heal. Because if we heal, we can be a better version of ourselves. If we heal, we can lead people. If we heal, we can be in right relationship. If we heal, we can actually achieve our goals and our dreams. If we're healed, we can show up as the best version of ourselves. So with that being said, I just want to thank you for tuning in. Like I said, our guest for this week, we're going to hopefully reschedule her for next week. But I didn't want to just cancel the show, and I didn't want to just have an old stale rerun. I wanted to share with you how we got to where we are. And this journey that I'm on, and I want you to join with us. Listen, I'm going to close out the show with this explained video, and we will talk to you next week.
In a world where adulting can often seem overwhelming, there's a secret key to unlocking true serenity: healing the inner child. Within the pages of the acclaimed book, Help Elevate and Learn, a guide to healing your inner child, discover a journey, a transformation, or rebirth. This isn't just about reading, it's about embarking on a path to self-discovery and inner peace. Simultaneously, tune into the soothing waves of the Help Elevate and Learn, a guide to healing your inner child podcast. A sanctuary where candid conversations blend with expert insights, creating a harmonious symphony of healing. Each episode is a step closer to unburdening that youthful spirit within. Remember, it's never too late to offer compassion to that child within you, to rewrite your story with a happier, healthier narrative. Healing the Inner Child, the book, the podcast, the journey. Step into the world of self-healing and witness the transformation unfold.
And again, if you hadn't got a copy of your book, you can do that. You can get it on Amazon. Or for those of you who are in the Mobile area, you can get an autographed copy from me. All we have to do is just connect with me. You can reach out to me via my Facebook page, my Instagram, my LinkedIn, my, what's the other one? I don't forget. Oh, you can tell you reach a certain age because you start, because I wasn't going to say Snapchat, but I don't do Snapchat. TikTok. Is that still a thing now? But anyway, listen, if you want to get a copy of the book, you can do that as well. And so again, I just want to thank you for just tuning in and sharing of this time with me. And believe me when I say, I truly want you to heal. And listen, we'll see you next week. Talk to you later. Bye.